If you haven't heard about Anchor from Spotify, you are missing out. It is the easiest way to make a podcast, with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Me and Casey over here at Bicoastal Crime use Anchor to edit our podcast on the go all the time. I ride public transit and I'm always there on the bus editing. And Anchor makes that so easy. When hosting on Anchor, you can also distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I want to start this episode off with a disclaimer. I am giving a very quick synopsis of this case, not every tiny detail. There are so many podcasts, documentaries, books, and blogs detailing everything about this case. This episode, or episodes, would have been so much longer if I had done every detail. Our sources for this episode are great help when trying to learn more about this case. We hope you enjoy. Bye.
This podcast contains content not suitable for all listeners or ages. Please use discretion when you are choosing to listen to this and be mindful of the little ears around you. This podcast contains many mentions of murder, homicide, rape, torture. Listener discretion is advised. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy our podcast. Hi! Welcome back, everybody. This is Bicoastal Crime. I'm Carmen.
And I'm Casey.
And we're just jumping into it because I want to know what happens. Who are the Loon Mountain Three?
Okay. So, if you haven't listened to our first episode about maura-murray, you gotta pause right now and go back.
Do it. Seriously. You're going to miss so much.
For real. You don't want to start this episode without hearing that first.
And if you did listen to part 1 and you need a little recap, we're going to give that to you right now of what part 1 was, because we know it's been a week since you listened.
So, last episode, we left off with the Loon Mountain 3. And this is the biggest theory, and what a lot of people still believe is what happened to Maura. So, let's get right into it. The Loon Mountain 3 are 3 guys that worked at Loon Mountain during the time of Maura's disappearance. If you don't know anything,
those who don't, I was going to say, and for those who don't know what Loon Mountain is, but you were already on it, I don't know why I doubted you.
Oh my gosh. If you don't know anything about New Hampshire, Loon Mountain is one of the most popular ski mountains in the state. So one of the Loon Mountain 3 guys was a groomer, and since they were working at night, I can only assume that the other 2 were part of the tubing section of the mountain. So for those of you that do not know what the hell I am talking about with a groomer, they are these big, huge, almost like snow tractor machines is the only way that I can describe it for somebody that doesn't know.
Can I just say that I really want a snow tractor now? And that sounds like I want to rip some donuts. Cool. I want to rip some donuts in a snow tractor. Like that sounds like a bitchin' time.
Yeah, they're really cool. So they are the ones that make the trails safe to be able to be skied on. They pack the snow down somewhat to be a smooth surface, and it's done at night, not to interrupt the ski day. So that's why these guys were going to work at night at the mountain.
I didn't know that. Actually, I always wondered how they... I guess I never really thought about it, but I guess I just kind of assumed that snow fell and then people were like, I wonder if I strapped 2 boards to my feet and jumped off this mountain, what would happen? And that's kind of how skiing happens. Not that there are machines that pack the snow and then they go down the hill. I just assume that I guess I just kind of assumed that it snowed and then you just got on the snow.
Yeah, I mean, we have them for our snowmobile trails, too.
Okay,
it's a lot smaller, but we have them.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, they're really cool.
You just kind of blew my mind, right? Like learning fun new facts, listeners.
Yeah, and that's definitely a cool one. So these guys were on their way to work that night and lived in the area of the crash scene. So it's very plausible that they came upon her. The theory is that they picked Maura up and brought her to a party where she overdosed. I'm not big on that being the actual theory. I've not found anywhere that she even ever did drugs. She was certainly a partier, but I've not heard anything about drugs. And I mean...
Yeah, but obviously if she's taken involuntarily, there's no reason to not think that she was not drugged involuntarily. If you're going along that line, that's not a far leap.
The theory is not that she left with them unwillingly. The theory is that they came upon her. They said, hey, we're going into Loon Mountain, which she was very familiar with. We work there. Just come with us. We'll get you out of this situation. That's the theory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I can also see that totally happening. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, I mean, I know family can keep secrets, but I don't think they would keep that one for this long, you know? Especially with them believing that something terrible has happened to her. It doesn't seem likely that if she did have a drug problem, that one of her friends or family members wouldn't have said anything.
No, that would have come out by now, for sure. Absolutely.
Right. So, I think it's plausible that she did get picked up by these guys, that she got drunk and they took advantage of the situation. Absolutely. Totally. I think that might have happened. They could have raped her, killed her because they didn't know what to do. You know, there's 3 guys. You know, somebody's always the ringleader. And I think that that's definitely plausible as something that could have happened. So you're probably wondering why the hell their names were even brought up in the first place. All 3 of them called out of work that night. If you're a true crime follower like us, you know that there is no such thing as coincidence.
There sure the fuck is not.
So it's very interesting that they live near the crash site. They going by the crash site at about the same time to get to work on time, and all 3 of them end up calling out. So, definitely interesting. Their names have never been released. I literally have no idea who they are. And I'm a local.
Wait, so you said the Loon Mountain 3 with the same intensity that you say the West Memphis 3. Have the Loon Mountain 3 not murdered anybody? Are they just suspects?
There's never been a suspect named in this case.
Oh,
ever.
Wait, ever?
Ever.
What the fuck is going on with this case? This is a weird case, man. This is a weird case.
But, like, the fact that I'm a local and I have no clue what their names are is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Because people fucking talk.
Yeah, they really do.
Especially in a teeny tiny town. And especially about Maura-murray.
And you guys, listeners, you guys, for those of you who have not in New Hampshire, all of New Hampshire is tiny. It is a very tiny state, but I have been to this town. I thought my town that I lived in was small. There is Casey's town, which feels even smaller.
It's so small.
It is so small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows about this
Everybody's
case.
Business. Who got arrested last night? Like, everything.
I mean, you listen to it, if we're just assuming that if you listen to this episode on Maura-Murray, that you've probably listened to our Trish Haynes episode. Shout out to Mom again. But Casey knew people who were directly involved in that case. That's how we were able to reach out to the family and directly talk to them, and were granted interviews with them. This is a very, very small town. The fact that you don't know, Casey, is shocking, actually.
I know.
And I know that you don't know because you would have told me.
I know. I would have said it right here.
Yeah.
I absolutely would have. But they have never been named.
Huh, that's really interesting. I wonder if they were minors, and that's why their names are being protected.
It's very possible that they were minors. However, I do not believe that you can operate a groomer machine while being a minor. So
I wonder if the other two were minors, and maybe that dude was like 18. And
it's very possible.
Huh, yeah.
So there was little to no movement on the maura-murray case until September of 2021. Bones were found by a company installing new gondolas on Loon Mountain. Let me tell you, the entire state was holding its breath. We thought for sure this was maura-murray. We were freaking out. I can't even describe to you the freaking out that was happening just myself. I was freaking out. We knew that if they were Maura's bones, the Loon Mountain 3 absolutely did it. I called my ex who works at Loon to find out what the hell happened. He was there the day the bones were discovered. He told me that they were found in dirt that had been brought in sometime when the towers had been built on the mountain. So about late 90s, early 2000s. So it was even more plausible that this was maura-murray. I asked him, would it have been plausible that the Loon Mountain 3 could have used a groomer to dig up the earth in February to bury her body? Because, like, if you live in New England or you live in a state that gets snow, you know that there is no digging in the ground until spring. Like, it's just not a thing. You can't. It's too hard. I'm sure some of you have watched Gold Rush, and they have to wait for the frost, the permafrost.
God, I love that show.
I do too.
That is my guilty pleasure show. Oh my God.
Parker Schnabel. Love him.
I love how you say Schnabel.
Schnabel. Love him. So he said that it was absolutely possible that they could have used a groomer to dig up the ground to bury her. He said if it is Maura, then they absolutely did it, and he would love to hear how they talked themselves out of it. So he is a local as well. He's actually even more local than I am to that area. And he knows a shit ton more about Loon Mountain because he works there. So he was my first fucking phone call. I was like, please tell me what happened. And he was like, I was there. I saw it. I was like, oh my God. I was freaking out. Much to the disappointment of everyone, they were not Maura's bones. It was bones from a very long time ago, like the 18th century long time ago. So I'm sure because of who we are as a fucking country, they were more than likely Native American remains that had been disturbed by our ever-growing need to expand.
I don't know what to say. I unmuted my mic to say something, but I don't know what I was going to say. So I'm just going back and let you talk. That's just, yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I know. This case is a fucking rabbit hole. There are so many theories, but I have a new one.
Yeah, I want to go to Reddit